Tonight on NXT, Adrian Jode teams up with Cesar Bononi to face off against the returning Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch, the old one too. Tommaso Ciampa has something to say to the NXT universe and to the rest of the wrestling community. Shayna Baszler decides to choke a fool. Raul Mendoza attempts to get one over on Lars Sullivan. And Bianca Belair thrashes and clashes with Nikki Cross. Who wins? Who loses? Let's find out and get into the nitty-gritty.
But yeah, anyway, we begin the night with Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch returning better than ever against Adrian Jode and Cesar Bononi. It seemed, I actually don't think I remember seeing Cesar Bononi since I started watching NXT in November of last year. Burch and Bononi go head-to-head to begin with Burch getting in the early offense, countering and beating him down, hitting him with a missile dropkick from the top turnbuckle, hitting him just, brutally. Oni and Burch go in to suplex Cesar Bononi. And then Adrian Jode, after getting tagged in, shows the better offense with some real hard hits. This guy knows how to do a worked hit without it either looking fake or without it looking weak. Did a pretty good job of it. Bononi and Jode decide to do some tandem offense to try and, beat down Danny Burch. But Burch manages to get Oni Lorcan tagged in, and Lorcan goes to town on the two of them. Bringing both of them down to the ground. And then after a bit, he tags in, after a bit of back and forth, Lorcan tags in Burch, and the two of them work together to hit a high angle DDT, or impact DDT, on Adrian Jode, pinning him for the 1, 2, and 3. And that was the end of that match. It was a good match for the returning Oni Lorcan and Danny Burch. However, I'm not sure about putting Adrian Jode as a tag team wrestler. He seems like he could carry himself just fine as a singles, but we'll see where this takes him. Ciampa comes out to some truly fitting theme music, which was one of those moments of, wait a minute, why does he have a theme song? But hey, the entrance music fits, I can't complain about it. I mean, I could, but I'd be lying to myself. He decides to address the crowd, address his new music, address how he did not attack Aleister Black, but he would like to thank the individual who did. And his final issue was to address all the other wrestlers out there, everyone on the independent scene. Anyone out there who's looking for success needs to follow the lead of Tommaso Ciampa. Yeah, Tommaso Ciampa's a pretty goddamn good heel champion. Then we had a matchup of I believe it was Violet Payne versus Shayna Baszler. Violet Payne was feeling some very violent pain during this match because Shayna Baszler knows how to choke a fool. Match begins with the crowd chanting, "Shayna's gonna kill you." Baszler immediately takes Violet to the ground, starts swinging, brings her down again, starts twisting her arm, stomps her elbow down onto the mat, and then Baszler chokes her out with a Karafuda clutch. After the match, Shayna Baszler, as she's walking back, she's like, you know what, I'm going to do that one more time. So she runs back to the ring and gets Violet Payne in the Karafuda clutch again. And then she did it a third time before deciding, I think that's enough for now. Trying to send a message to Kairi Sane without Kairi Sane actually being there because apparently she was in the middle of an interview with William Regal. We had Raul Mendoza versus Lars Sullivan. Oh yeah, actually there was a backstage segment of Heavy Machinery talking about how it could have been Tommaso Ciampa. And as they're starting to talk about Tommaso Ciampa, Ciampa is walking behind them and walks up to Otis, and the two of them kind of stare down one another and start berating one another, and it looks like they're going to end up having a match here pretty soon. William Regal steps in to break it up and calls Tomato Chompers to his office. Undisputed Era continues to gossip like a bunch of high school girls. Adam Cole hyping up that whoever loses the match, or whoever wins the match between Pete Dunne and Ricochet next week, the champ versus champ, he's going to be working on facing off against them to reclaim a belt, to get a belt at this point. That way he can keep calling himself a part of the Undisputed Era. Lars Sullivan faces off with Raul Mendoza. I thought this was just going to be a pure squash match, like a 30 seconds, it's done. Raul Mendoza put in a good offense. I'm not quite sure if that was really necessary, considering Lars Sullivan went up against Raul Mendoza last time. I think Raul Mendoza's got a lot of potential to be something better than a jobber to the stars in terms of how he ends up jobbing to everybody. He's got skill, but yeah, whatever. Ricochet, so in a backstage segment, Ricochet hypes up the champ versus champ match. Seems there was a backstage argument with Dakota Kai, Deonna Purrazzo butting heads with Aaliyah and Lacey Evans, which is going to be leading to a men's tag team match. Cassius Ohno steps in to talk to William Regal to air his grievances about his place on the roster, but also says, and when your shining new star appears, I'll be there to knock him down. And as he gets up, he just goes, bro. Which means Cassius Ohno is going to be going after Matt Riddle. So, yeah, we'll see where that goes. That might be an interesting matchup. After that, we had our main event. And our main event was Bianca Belair facing off with Nikki Cross. Nikki is just absolutely brilliant in this entire matchup. Taunting and aggravating and messing with Bianca's state of mind to the point where Nikki goes to lunge and Bianca immediately dodges back and hits the ground, trying to avoid her, just for Nikki Cross to stop and just start laughing at her. But yeah, as she's getting aggravated, Nikki hits her with a head scissor takeover, I believe it was called. Attempts to get into the sleeper hold. Bianca Belair reverses it, slams her down onto the mat, slams Cross into the corner, and then just and then bear hugs Nikki Cross. Seeing that she's in a tough situation, Nikki decides to use her head repeatedly against Bianca Belair's head. She headbutts her way out. Cross goes for the crossbody, only to be caught by Bianca Belair, deadlifted above her head, and then thrown down. Bianca decides to do a little bit of showboating, goes to hit the splash on Nikki Cross, only for Nikki Cross to get out of the way. Bianca tries to pursue, and Nikki gets Bianca Belair stuck between the ring apron and then the edge of the ring to act as a trap to start beating her up. After Bianca manages to get out, she slams Nikki Cross into the staircase, kicks her in the gut, and as they're trying to get back into the ring, Nikki Cross gets her in a sleeper hold and drags her out to the ramp. Bianca Belair grabs Nikki Cross, slams her into the ring, but the two of them are so tired out that they don't have the energy to get back in the ring as the ref counts to 10. And that was the end of the match. It ended with a double countout, which makes sure that none of them looked weak. However, after that, Bianca Belair and Nikki Cross go at it again and start beating up each other. The crowd starts chanting, "Let them fight! Let them fight! Let them fight!" And the two continue to pursue each other out to the end of the episode. And yeah, that was NXT. It seemed to move by really quickly. Nothing too revolutionary happened. There wasn't too much going on with tonight's episode except for the first matchup. So all in all, I'm gonna give this one a B-. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It's just kind of, it was good. So yeah, let me know what you think. I'm gonna have the poll up here for you to peruse and grade the show if you'd like to follow along. If you got additional comments, Leave some comments down below. Hit like if you liked it, hit dislike if you don't. Hit subscribe, it's probably around here somewhere. But yeah. This has been Real Honesty without John Ritland. I am not John Ritland. I am the Terminator. And Muda!